Namaste to one and all of you. I wholeheartedly welcome Professor Jagadesh Kumar ji, Chairman University Grants Commission and President General Counsel, NAAC. I also wholeheartedly welcome one and all of you, all the stakeholders, vice chancellors, principals, approximately 15,000 who have registered for this particular event. Professor, it's with great pride and privilege I wish to state Professor Jagadesh Kumar ji comes from electrical engineering from Professor IIT Delhi, and he has held different responsibilities in IIT, and all of us know that the change in the landscape of higher education and helpful to the society, a kind-hearted gentleman. He was our executive committee chairman for a period of 9 months. He has changed the entire scenario of NAAC by bringing in a lot of transparency and also helpful mechanisms for the higher education institutions. We have had a lot of manuals, open distance education, Sanskrit, general education manual, and reduction of the manual. And one such scintillating effect in bringing a lot of impetus to the higher education institution is the present provisional accreditation, which we are going to start after March 4th. Sir, we wholeheartedly welcome you. I request Professor Jagadesh Kumar ji, Chairman, University Grants Commission, to give a brief address on this issue.
Thank you, Professor Sharma. Let me extend a very warm welcome to all the participants, the heads of the institutes, principals, teachers, and the students. Just before I speak on what NAAC has been doing in the recent past to facilitate the assessment and accreditation process for the educational institutes, I want to tell you a small story. There is somebody called Anand Kumar, and he had a pet cat. As usual, during lunch hour, this pet cat was very hungry. So it came out of the house to look for food. He looked at the left side and it found a mouse there. And it appears the mouse also looked at the cat. It appeared it was completely frozen in fear, not even eyelid movement. The cat was about to jump on it and eat, but it heard a sound on the right side. There was another mouse there. It was big. It was not at all fearful of the cat. It was nibbling on something. It was slightly far away. In a split of a second, the cat has to make a decision. Should I go to the left side and catch this mouse which is frozen, which appears to be frozen in fear, or should I run a little bit and catch that bigger mouse? So it decided to jump on this smaller mouse, which appeared to be frozen in fear, and it caught its neck. There was no blood, there was no flesh. The mouse happened to be simply a toy. This is what happens when we set lower goals, when we try to do only what appears to be simple things. We will not be able to achieve much. We should constantly tell our teachers, our students, that we must have higher goals. And that's the only way we can achieve larger objectives. And what is the larger objective? What is the higher goal that we have as educationists, as students? We want to make our students lifelong learners. We want to make them creative and innovative. And how can we do that unless we create an ecosystem in our educational institutions? Good facilities for them, well-trained teachers, eager to interact with the students and face their questions, encourage them to be critical of status quo, provide them a good library, provide them other extracurricular activities to the students so that once they pass out of your institution, they become well-rounded, responsible human being. And how do we know whether our institutions are up to the mark, whether we are able to provide this kind of ecosystem to the student? And this is where the NAAC comes into picture. As an independent organization, they make an assessment of what capabilities you have, and then they tell you whether you meet the required standards. Because it's our national responsibility for all of us to make sure that we do everything possible to provide the required skills and knowledge to our students. And this is where NAAC is playing a crucial role across the country, encouraging the educational institutes to come forward to get assessed and accredited so that the students would know whether these institutes meet the required standards. And in the recent past, within the NAAC, there have been many reforms thanks to the colleagues in NAAC, including the director, who have been working very hard by taking the feedback from the stakeholders, by having webinars such as this, and collecting their feedback and improving the assessment accreditation process. And as a result of that, we are happy to tell you that several manuals have been prepared and the entire process of uploading the data and the DVV process and all these internal processes that happen within the assessment and accreditation system, they have been highly simplified so that as stakeholders, for you, the entire process has to be simple enough so that you are encouraged to come forward and apply for the accreditation. But we have also found that there are many colleges which are hesitant to come for the accreditation because they have, for various reasons in their mind, they may be thinking that they may not reach the standards that are required to be fulfilled. To overcome that kind of hesitancy, recently NAAC has taken a very reformative step, that is introducing a provisional accreditation for colleges. And in this process, all those colleges can come forward, can get assessed and accredited so that they know where they stand. Even if they do not fulfill the complete requirements of the accreditation, we can give you provisional accreditation, tell you that yes, you fulfill these minimum requirements, but then if you work on parameters X and Y, you can then get the complete accreditation maybe in another couple of years. So the process has been highly simplified. The number of metrics that are used for the provisional accreditation also have been carefully chosen to reflect the ground reality of the colleges across the country. And we hope that with this new process of the provisional accreditation, thousands of the colleges in the country will come forward and test themselves where they stand and recognize the parameters on which they have to improve so that ultimately all of you get accredited. India has one of the biggest educational system in the world, and we should be able to stand among the nations of the world and say we have this great educational system which is accredited, and then it has these international standards, because the accreditation process is equivalent to an international process. These are based on internationally accepted parameters. So therefore, I would like to make use of this opportunity to urge and request all the colleges to come forward and get themselves accredited so that they have the opportunity to improve upon what they have and become some of the best educational institutes in the country, and perhaps maybe in future you will also become some of the best institutes in the world. And that is what I meant when I said in the beginning that we need to set our goals high. We need to become some of the best on the world scene, not just be satisfied if we are a good college among some of the colleges within your own region. So with those comments, I would like to conclude here, and I hope that during the rest of the proceedings that are going to take place, many of your concerns will be addressed and many of you will be motivated to come for provisional accreditation. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Namaste, sir. Namaste. Over to Dr. Ponmudi Raj for the proceedings to be continued.
Thank you, sir. And most honorable the chairman and president of GC, Professor Jagadesh Kumar ji, Director Professor S.C. Sharma ji, my colleagues Prof. Amir Kumar and Dr. Shyam Sundar, and all the people who are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, as well as on our platform. I'll just share my presentation, please. So I'll be just talking on the
Unmute, Madhvi.
quantitative essence of the provisional accreditation manual. My contents of a presentation, before that, is two parts I have made. One is the guidelines and eligibility conditions for the colleges to come for this provisional accreditation. Second is the institutional basic information, some basic information we require from the colleges. Third is the quantitative metrics. There are around 10 quantitative metrics which I'll be highlighting, and around 15 qualitative metrics my colleague Prof. Amir Kumar will be presenting. Let me start. The guidelines are eligibility for this provisional accreditations. I'll just rush through some of the basic things so that it is very clear. Any college which is at least having which is 1 year old is eligible to come for provisional accreditation. What the definition of 1 year also we have defined very crystal clear, from student admissions to announcements of results. Now this provisional accreditations, once colleges get provisionally accredited, it is valid for 2 years, exactly 2 years. Then colleges can opt for one more term, a consecutive term, can opt for 2 consecutive terms for provisional accreditation, what we call as PAC, provisional accreditation for colleges. Next is PAC is not associated with any cycles of accreditation. Even our colleges who are accredited for first cycle, second cycle, third cycle, fourth cycle, in case of their validity, they are also eligible to come forward for assessment and accreditation by PAC, what we call provisional accreditation. The processing fee is rupees 10,000 plus GST. Now, what is the outcome of the provisional accreditation? The outcome of the provisional accreditation is binary in nature. We are following the National Education Policy 2020 to implement this provisional accreditation or not provisional accreditation. In addition to that, we provide a certificate of accreditation and a peer team report, what is called the evaluative report. So that, as chairperson said, we will be preparing for the full accreditation. So next is the not accredited colleges. In case if the colleges are unable to get provisional accreditation, they can apply after 6 months, but before 1 year. And there is a peer team visit. It is a miniature version of the complete full accreditation, and the team visit shall be virtual in nature. The team, there will be 2-member committee, a professor and a principal will be there on a virtual visit. The entire pro forma will be public disclosed. It will be public disclosure policy. As per the NEP, it will be disclosed on the website of NAAC as well as on the institutional website. And the modifications may not be allowed in the pro forma once you submit the pro forma after the accreditation. PAC is also similar to graded accreditation for any claims made for the Government of India or state government or any of the schemes other than gradation. Now, there is a grievance redressal cell for the provisional accreditation, and it will be an independent ombudsman. The evaluation pattern is very, very simple, 10 questions. Each question will be given either 0, 1 or 2 based on benchmarks. The benchmarks are disclosed. All the colleges will know, but that range, who will get 0, how we will get for 1 for each question, how we'll get 2 or. Now colleges has to score 15 out of 40 marks. That is what the preliminary manual is about. And the entire pro forma is online. It is online process. And there is fee adjustment may not be possible once they come again. Now we have asked some basic information. This is for information only. This is not assessment of the quantitative questions or qualitative questions. We would like the colleges applying for provisional accreditation. We need the All India Survey of Higher Education, Ministry of Education, AISHEID. AISHEID. This is the fundamental one. All the colleges we requested to have a AISHEID. We need the name of the college. We need the year of establishment. And we need whether the college has its own building or it is in a rented building, or we need the institutional website link. Next, we need the contact details of the principal and the IQAS coordinator. We need to know the location of the college as per Census of India, whether urban, rural, semi-urban, hilly area, tribal area. And we asked them whether we have completed 1 full academic year to be eligible to come for provisional accreditation. Then we ask for the type of colleges, whether you're a day college or an evening college or a night college by shift. By gender, whether you're a boys college or a girls college or a co-educational institution. By management, whether you're a government college or a private college. If it is private, whether it is a grant-in-aid or self-financing, unaided college we ask. And we would like to know the status of the college, whether you're an affiliated college, whether you're an autonomous college, or you're a standalone institution. Next, we would like to know which you are affiliated to, your jurisdiction, or the affiliating university, the college affiliated to jurisdiction because of standalone institutions. And if it is a statutory regulatory authority, if it is applicable, like B.Ed colleges or any other colleges, nursing colleges, if the statutory regulatory authority, if it is applicable, we wanted to know their Indian Nursing Council, Medical Council, all the colleges, their SRA applicability. And if it's a standalone institution, we would like to have the Association of Indian Universities equivalence, if applicable. And we ask how many teachers are with Ph.D. We ask number of programs offered by the college, whether a single program, 2 program, or multiple programs, multi-faculty. 17, we need the list of mandatory committees by the Government of India, state government, and the parent university as per the law of the land, whether these mandatory committees are there in place. And we would like to know whether the management information system in place and choice-based credit system, cafeteria approach, semester system, whether it's applicable. And lastly, we would like to take an undertaking from the head of the institute. This is the basic information we ask for the pro forma. Now coming to the 10 quantitative questions, it's very, very simple, very easy, and you have to only tick. Percentage of teachers sanctioned required posts for the full-time teachers. It is percentage. So you get 0 marks if you have less than 50%. It is greater than 75%, you get 2 marks, and 50 to 75%, you get 1 mark. Second question we ask on quantitative, a student-teacher ratio. If you have less than 30 students for 1 teacher, you get 2 marks. 30 to 50, you get 1. If the ratio of 50 students is to 1 for 1 teacher, it is greater than that, then you will get 0 marks. Now, percentage of students undertaking project works, field work, internships, dissertation, skill-based learning. So similarly, the benchmarks, you have to tell the benchmarks and the scores are open. If it is less than 10%, you'll get 0 marks. If it is greater than 20% of your students are going for skill-based learning, field work, internship, you will get 2 marks. In between 10 to 20%, you'll get 1 mark. So the past percentage of students, if it is less than 40%, 0 marks, greater than 50%, you'll get 2 marks. Scores of 2, 40 to 50 range, you will get 1 mark. Number of research papers, bar books, bar book chapters, bar conferences, bar proceedings, bar patents published, or or can be and or. So if it is greater than 10, for the entire college, you will get 2 marks. And if it is less than 5, you'll get 0 marks, 1 mark for 5 to 10. Student computer ratio. For 30 students, if there is 1 computer, you get 2 marks. If you get 30 to 50 per ratio, you'll get 1 mark. Less than or greater than 50, you will get 0 marks. Now, 7th question is percentage of classrooms and seminar halls with ICT facility. So if there are 10 classrooms or 100 classrooms, if it is greater than 20%, you have ICT facilities, seminar halls with the different Wi-Fi connections with the LCD, LED and all smart as per SOPs, you will get 22 marks. And similarly, 0 and 1 is defined. Now, internet connection and or Wi-Fi connecting facility available in the institution, if it is about 10 to 20 Mbps, you get 1 mark score. And last but one question, number of curricular, co-curricular, extracurricular, cultural, sports activities, programs organized by the college. If it is greater than 10, you will get 2 marks. And the last question is number of faculty development programs, professional development programs for the teaching staff, non-teaching staff, administrative training, orientation program, and capacity programs organized. You will get, if it is more than 4, you get 2 marks. And these are the 10 simple questions which you will take the system generated. And there is the second part is the qualitative questions. Thank you, sir. Namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Ponmudiraj, for the wonderful presentation. Over to Professor Amay Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you very much. See, let me tell you, good morning, one and all present here in room number 1, room number 2, and YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter Live. Let me tell you, initially, when we have developed this manual, we have 10 quantitative metrics or 10 quantitative questions and 10 qualitative questions. The maximum score value is 40. Out of 40, we expect the institutions to get 15, which Dr. Ponmudiraj mentioned. But now we have 25 questions, 10 quantitative questions and 15 qualitative questions. The total score value for this particular manual is 50. Out of 50, we expect the institutions to get 20. Let me tell you, discuss about the qualitative questions. We expect the institutions to write in 100 to 300 words as far as qualitative questions are concerned. Like the way we have qualitative questions in our regular manual. Similarly, you have qualitative questions in this manual as well. The first one is how to assess the learning level of students. Who are the advanced learners? Who are the slow learners? What are the activities you do for the advanced learners? What you can do for the slow learners, or special measures, whether the institutions takes special measures to cater to the differential need of the students. And second question is whether student-centric learning, even National Education Policy talks about student-centric learning. Student-centric learning, whether students participate in the learning process, experiential learning, participative learning, problem-solving methodologies, whether it is adopted by the faculty members in the classroom to enhance the learning experience of the students. Question number 3, we have what are the ICT enabled tools and what are the online resources used by the faculty members for effective teaching learning process. Similarly, like extension activities are very important, whether extension activities are conducted in the neighborhood community in terms of impact and sensitizing the students to social issues for the holistic development of the students. Similarly, what are the facilities available? Digital facilities, we talk about IT facilities, we talk about physical infrastructure like classrooms, laboratories, computing equipments, and other facilities like for cultural activities, yoga, games, and sports. And what are the library facilities? Whether your library is automated, library facilities is available in the college or not. How does the college reflect the academic and administrative pursuits in line with its mission and vision? How does the effective reflect the leadership, whether it's a participative leadership, whether the leadership is decentralized by the management? And we have asked questions like, explain the institutional development plan and strategies for achieving the long-term goals and for achieving the short-term goals. Whether you have a strategic plans, 5 years plans, institutional development plans for long-term as well as short-term goals, whether it is fixed by the college. Similarly, question number 10 is quality initiatives. Not only the quality initiatives, the sustenance and enhancement measures taken by the internal quality assurance system. You know, after the first cycle, we tell the colleges to go for IQAS cell, internal quality assurance cell, in our regular manuals. Similarly, we asked the questions whether quality initiatives, sustenance of qualities, enhancement measures taken by the internal quality assurance system of the college. Explain the capacity building and skill enhancement initiatives. Even national education policy talks about skill enhancement like soft skills, language and communication skills, life skills, yoga, physical fitness, health and hygienic, and ICT and computing skills, whether it has been provided by the college or not. Does the institution have a transparent mechanism for timely readdressal of student grievances? Student grievances including the sexual harassment and ragging cases. Similarly, question number 13 is sensitization initiatives taken by the institutions for student and its employees. So what are the sensitization initiatives like constitutional obligations, the values, the rights, the duties and responsibilities of citizens? Question number 14 is describe the performance of institutions in one area distinctive to its priority and thrust. The last question is describe the strength, weakness, opportunities and challenges and achievement of the college. And one important point is why the college needs provisional accreditation. So what we have mentioned is even if you have completed cycle 1 but your validity is completed, you are not confident to come for regular accreditation, then you can come forward for provisional accreditation, which Dr. Ponmudiraj has mentioned that the validity period is 2 years. There are total 25 questions, including qualitative and quantitative questions. Total score value is 50. We expect you to get 20 out of 50, and it's a binary whether it is provisionally accredited or not accredited. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the nice presentation, Professor Amay Kumarji. Over to my senior colleague, Professor Shyam Sundarji, for the vote of thanks.
Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great honor and privilege to propose vote of thanks to all the dignitaries who have made it convenient to attend this webinar of provisional accreditation amidst your busy schedule. We are deeply grateful to Professor Jagadesh Kumar ji, Honorable Chairman of University Grants Commission, for presiding over this function and setting the tone of this webinar by clearly indicating the importance of quality assurance in higher education. His enlightening address was unique as always because of the novelty of ideas as well as style. Sir, I thank you for presiding over the memorable webinar, which has immensely enhanced its importance. I also thank you for your powerful, thought-provoking and insightful address, sir. I must express my deep gratitude to our beloved director, Professor S.C. Sharma ji, who has been a great support behind such events. He is a source of inspiration and motivation to all the officials of NAAC to organize this type of mega events. He has spoken extensively on the conceptual and practical dimension of quality assurance in the country, because provisional accreditation is a mega event, because we want to cater to as many higher education institutions as possible. I express our profound thanks to you, sir, for sharing your views with us on a topic of such contemporary relevance. I express my sincere thanks to all the dignitaries, which encompass vice chancellors, professors, directors, deans, principals, and all the senior academicians from different parts of the country who have taken keen interest in the program and have taken time out of their busy schedule to attend the remarkable webinar through WebEx, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook platforms. Hence, I would like to thank our informed audience, without whose participation and involvement no such dialogue is complete. I would like to thank my colleagues, Professor Amir Kumar Rath and Dr. B.S. Ponmidraj, for their qualitative, pragmatic presentation. I take this opportunity to express our sincere thanks to Mrs. Ashwini from Connectivity Solutions, who has prepared magnificent layout and amazing interface for this particular program. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all my colleagues at NAAC who have worked relentlessly with great dedication to make the webinar a grand success. To conclude, let me once again reiterate my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks to all. Namaste to one and all. Thank you.